everybody. I'm Steve Peterson.
And I'm Jack Hinkle.
Welcome back to Chops Podcast, where we consider best practices for teaching, content, and knowing your students. Today is November, rainy, cold day.
It's the 18th.
It's the 18th.
Is that what you were going for?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's the 18th.
Yeah, it was cold, rainy today. Those of you in Elkhart. Oh, very exciting news. In my 15-minute commute to work, the Benham Street
I saw that.
underpass is now open, also known as 3rd Street. Big news, because now 3rd Street Benham is a two-way street, and it used to be a one-way. But nice new pavement. I drove under the underpass today, and wow.
So 15 minutes is now, what, 12? 11?
Yeah, and I had to slow down. You know, you go through a couple school zones. You got to be careful.
Just got to be careful.
You just got to be careful.
Well, good for you. That's a win.
That's a win. So, how's your drive-in today?
It's kind of nice. I think driving through the farmland.
Yeah,
like when
you've mentioned that before,
right? Like even in the cloudiness, or like when it's sunny. Like right now, my commute is about right when the sun comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's some nice views up there.
Right.
Nice views.
You're proud to live in Elkhart County.
That I am. I also took care of my leaves this weekend.
You're like, showed them. I'll
Oh
tell
my
you
gosh.
what, I'm going to take care of you.
That was a lot more time than I thought it would take.
Did we
Holy
use
smokes.
the leaf blower, rakes,
rake,
sheets,
tarp.
Tarp, yep.
All three. Yeah, because you can only use the blower so much until the leaves are like, nope, we're piled up. We're not moving.
Yep.
We're done. So that's when you get the tarp out. But yeah, that was a lot on Saturday.
Now, are all the leaves down?
Nope.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, the snow came and the leaves are like, peace. But there's like a few that are still up there, and I look at you, and they're just like plotting their
Some of
demise.
them are still green.
Yeah, I have some of those.
Right? And then the oak trees are like, we will never let go.
Are yours all down?
There's a maple that we share a property line with, and that has about 50% to go. And those are like the little tiny leaves, like the little silver maple. That goes in the backyard. But I have stopped raking the leaves. I mow and mulch and bag it.
I think I will do that on the next one.
Yep.
But it's been rainy. It's been
I know.
kinda snowy and wet, and not the time to get out the mower yet. Okay, Steve, do you still want to be a teacher?
Yes.
Sweet.
Jack, you still want to be a teacher?
Yes.
Jack, do you still want to do a podcast?
Yes.
Oh, that was slower.
Do you still want to do a podcast?
Yes.
We're locked in. We got new microphones.
We are. We got to
We got to do it.
keep on riding this thing.
No, it's fun. It's a good time.
It is.
I like having a podcast.
I was telling my coworkers today that being on the podcast is a good exercise in humility,
Mm-hmm.
because you listen to yourself speak. Like, I don't listen to every episode front to back, but I listen to most of it, and I know you listen to it because you're the one that edits it. But it is kind of painful to listen to myself speak. I think a lot of people have that sensation. Like,
Sure.
you know, you hear a recording of yourself or you watch a video and you're like, that is not what it sounds like. And, you know, like how you sound versus how does it sound to other people.
I agree with you.
And so then I become I'm more self-aware of my speaking patterns, my timing, my tone, my interaction with you, like, you know, trying to think about who talks more, who talks less, is that reciprocal? And so actually it's a very good tool.
I agree. I think it's a great tool. I mean, in terms of that, and then reflecting on how you speak on the podcast, but reflecting on certain situations that I go through my day-to-day that I'm like, what if I had to talk about that on the podcast? You know, or maybe this is going to come up, or it's just, as you said, it's like the best PD. Like
It is.
It's like the best
You know,
PD.
and is your license going to expire soon?
No, I'm good for another 4 years.
Oh, mine expires in 26.
No, you got
and you
your
have to
CPR
do so
training and all that stuff.
CPR training, good times. But then the PD, we
You
can
gotta
put
get hours.
right.
Oh.
But Chops Podcast is our PD.
Sweet. I like it.
I mean, it's time out of school that we spend talking about meaningful things about instruction.
yes, and we have evidence that we talk about it. There's hours and hours, 100 episodes. Soon to be 104 or something like that. And it's out there. Yep. Hey, can you get your phone out? I don't normally ask you to do that. I want to read the text into the microphone that you sent me.
Me?
Yeah. Okay. So in the world of CHS music, we just finished marching band, and the joke that gets passed around the department is like, oh, you guys can like slow down now, right? Like you're done with marching band. It's like, well, you would think, but we have jazz concert this week.
Right. Wednesday,
tomorrow.
Which is tomorrow, the 19th.
Yes, tomorrow the 19th. And so Steve sent me a text, and I would read my own phone, but it's recording the video for this, so I can't.
Yesterday morning.
Yes.
So at the beginning of the week, I said, tip of the week. It's concert week. It's okay if your lead trumpet has an ortho appointment Wednesday. It's concert week. It's okay if there's an Alice drill during your final run-through. It's concert week. It's okay if the third trombone player discovers no mute for the song Perdido as you count it off on stage. The appropriate teacher responses are awesome, okay, and classic. And I got a big old thumbs up on that.
Yes. Oh, but that was luscious to read. I don't remember when you sent that. It was like probably right when I got to school.
Yes.
I saw that and I was like, I need this.
Yeah.
This is good because you know that stuff's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. And I did tell Steve, I think I sent back, well, that's fascinating you say that because one of my trumpet players is scheduled to go on a field trip Wednesday morning. And I was like, that's beautiful. Like, of course. And secondly, it's fine. Like if I need the entire band there on that day of the rehearsal to make sure something works out okay, I did not do my job very well.
Wow, there's Jeff.
Right? Isn't that true?
Say that again I know we have friends out there that are listening to us that are not music teachers. You know, we have staff members, we have administrators, parents, and then we've met some other band directors along the way that are now podcast friends. But specifically to the band directors out there or orchestra or choir, but say that again.
If I have to have a rehearsal the day of the concert because I need to fix something, I did not do my job well. So I did not prepare the kids well. So if my trumpet player is gone tomorrow, which I talked to him, he said he would be. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Because you're not trying to fix you shouldn't be trying to fix anything the day of, right? That leads for bad things. It leads to bad things. Although we will try and fix some things. I will.
Of course you will. You'll have a rehearsal and a run through.
Yes. Yeah.
And it'll be fine. And it will be a little bit better than it was today, but it won't be as good as it's going to be in January. You know.
Sure.
Right? It's evolving.
We had a band director tell us once that the closer you get to a concert, the more you should work on your fundamentals. Right?
Yes.
Because in theory, your notes and your rhythms have been taught. So if you're working on your fundamentals, you're making all the things that go into the notes and rhythms that much better.
Gosh.
That's the theory.
I know. I was there when that was said, and I thought that was such an amazing thing. And then I think of how many times I've rolled into a concert and I'm like, quick, measure 2, last 4/16 notes, da 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 da, again, da 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 da, again, da 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 da, again, da 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 da. Okay, quick, I got 10 more post-it notes. Let's go. Ready? Measure 3, measure 4. You know, it's just like, oh my gosh, that is okay. That in teacher world, that is a miserable feeling. That is a miserable feeling cramming for a concert. It's similar to writing a research paper the night before it's due in college, and you're just like, it does not make any sense. You've totally missed the purpose of a research project, and you're staying up all night to watch it to make this piece of trash happen, right? And so, but when you're scrambling, and we've all done it, right?
Yes.
Yes, and it's a lonely, like desperate feeling, and you try not to get excited like in a bad way, but inevitably you do, and like the kids know you're tense, and you're making the kids tense, and
you're like, well, Jack and Steve, maybe you should just backwards plan. I do that. I do it. I promise you, I backwards plan. I say, we're going to have the notes and rhythms learned on this day, and that's like a month before the concert.
Oh.
I know. I get it. I'm not perfect, everybody.
There goes our perfect 5-star ratings. But well, I can attest, like Jack reverse backwards plans really well and writes these things out about what he wants to do and get done in like 8 weeks ahead of time. And it's a great system. And I think most of the time you hit those goals.
Yeah,
It helps
yeah.
you. I mean, it kind of keeps you on the path.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you put this like giant like coat of paint on a wall. And then, you're like, well, we need to get all this wall painted. And we do that, And then like you're coming up to the concert and then like these chips start to stick out because everything else has been painted so well. You're like, why is that white right there? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, that's good. Right. Starts to stick out because other things have cleaned up.
So,
right.
and I have mentioned that to my bands sometimes. It's like, no, this is a problem because you're doing everything else so well. It's like this is like really sticking out. But yeah, I have. Okay, have you ever tried to? This is like where directors go to experience pain. Have you ever tried to fix something in a marching band warm up? You're like,
I can remember teaching things in a marching band warm up. I can remember going in and just like I was conducting for the kids. I was like, I have no idea where I am in the music. And the kids are like ready to go out, put out 30 new charts at a time. I'm just like, Godspeed, soldier.
It's like you taught some like new choreo move the day before, or worse, the day of. You had like your 3-hour morning rehearsal, and you're like, okay, plie 4. So you're like reviewing it in physical warm up and marching band. And you're like, okay, flutes. Okay, plie 2. But there's like a band next to you that starts warming up. And you're like, okay, flutes, plie 2. Dun, 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 dun. And you just look at the kids. They look at you, and you're like, this is it. This is the dream right here.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad feeling.
Yeah, I can remember. I feel like that's happened before. But I try, even if I need to fix stuff, I've tried lately to not do it in warm up. I've tried.
Jack's top teaching tip. Jack's an A+ teacher.
Leave it alone.
Don't teach new items. Don't correct things in a warm-up. No, I understand what you're saying.
Well, I think if you're like, I'm thinking of like ISMA, right? Or your contest, your organizational contest. You get your 30 minutes in some janky classroom with the air conditioner just like louder than the tubas.
You got 60 kids in the band. There's 4 stands available.
Yep, everyone's wearing tuxes and they're already sweating through them. Like that's kind of the vibe, right? That's what's going on. And your goal is to make sure the kids have the best performance on stage. I usually try and like not amp my kids up, but try and make them feel like they're ready and feeling good.
Instilling confidence in your young performers.
Yeah, sometimes I will fix stuff. It's just I think there's like a give and take for choosing that. Like if you choose to fix something, it might take away from the confidence level.
Well, yeah, you don't want to feel panicked, even if you are. You're like, the sky is falling. Of course it is, but maintain your composure.
Oh, that'd be a good one. POV band director in warm up, the thoughts versus the words.
Yes.
That would be luscious.
Okay, so concert week. Things happen.
And right now I'm trying to predict the future. And I've
good luck.
I mean, like you've done this before, right? Where you're walking
predict the future? Not very well. Okay, go ahead.
You're walking the path of the kid from like the start of warm up to the end of their performance, and you're like trying to trace that. Like, okay, I need to get my mute here. I need to go out this door.
Yeah.
I need to come in this door. I need to go on the stage this way. I have to have my music.
Imagining
up here.
Excellence.
That's what we do best. Imagine it.
Always hoping for it.
Always open. Just someday it'll come. But trying to make sure that you're following that journey with the kid ahead of time so that you can prepare the kid for what that looks like.
Great.
And I think that like concert week, fix the things that are within my control, not within the kid's control, because that's what we've been doing for 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But like being really clear with the kids about times, expectations, but also like when you come on the stage, you're going to go on this door. You're going to come up on the stage this way. When you leave the stage, you're going to go off this way. You're going to do this here. And then you're going to go sit in the house here with the other bands and you're going to cheer on everybody else. Just like trying to do stuff like that. And fortunately, both bands I'm working with this year have done this concert before, so they know the flow and how it should go, how it should sound, how it should feel.
And that's what you're working on today, being on stage, having the sound equipment and getting used to the acoustics. And you have another run at it tomorrow.
Yep. And shout out Scott Preheim, former guest of the podcast. He was hooking us up today with all the sound, lights, amplification, which is always fun to play in the band room or in the PAC, I think, with that stuff.
Exactly.
Especially with the jazz band.
He has great quality equipment, and he knows how to use it, and it is fun.
But it is like a different experience for the kids, like sonically, playing in there versus the band room, and for the director, I think. I'm like, oh, you sound like this in here? Yeah, because it's kind of nice, because when you go in there, because the space is so big, the mistakes that bother you in the band room kind of just drift off into the ether.
That's a good point, too. That's a good point.
So that's kind of nice. It is a little bit of like resistance training in some ways, because you get all that going in the band room, and then you go in there, you're like, oh, we sound better, as you should. You're on a stage, you know? But this is like a jazz concert, and this is a jazz concert for friends, family, community. So there's like no stakes. I mean, you want to perform well, but we're not getting scored. We're not getting judged.
Right.
This isn't like an application to be an ensemble somewhere. It's just like, let's play and sound good and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
There have been concert weeks for like our organizational contests where it is high pressure, state final, like concert band, you know, state quals, I should say, and ISMA for our Indiana friends. And I'm sure you have some like fond memories of concert week. I'm sure you have some less than fond memories. What sticks out to you for concert weeks?
I remember one time Jack and I taught together for many years with a band that we used to call the Fourth Hour Philharmonic. But we taught that together, and we were coming into ISMA contest, and we were playing the opera aria Nessun Dorma.
That was my first year teaching. Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
And it's a well-known aria that you would probably recognize, but it was written for like a young band. And it was probably wasn't the greatest pick of all time for a young band, just because it was exposed and it was slow and it was kind of like this long emotional, build up, and for a young band. But I remember I don't know where we were, but we recorded it on our phones. And this was when your office was in the back of the library.
Yeah.
And I just remember coming in there and we're like listening to it. And I was like, why didn't you tell me the band sounded this bad? I was like, why am I just hearing this now? That it's so bad. And Jack, the first year teacher was basically like, dude, it's okay. It's on your phone. You can't hear the bass or the low voices. I promise you it sounds much. But I just remember, 3 days before contest, listening on my phone, I was like, oh, that is awful. Jack, what have you been doing? I don't know if you remember that, but that.
Oh, I do remember that. I remember that conversation. Well, and interesting, just before we pressed record, I was talking to Steve. I've been recording my bands more in class and listening to them later. It is nice because the recordings don't lie. Like, there are things that like are true regardless of sound quality, like intonation, rhythmic clarity, stuff like that. But then when you go back and listen to your actual band play with your own 2 ears, you're like, oh, they don't sound that bad, and you still get to fix the stuff that you heard. And I know people are like, that. This is not a revolutionary idea to record your bands. I'm like, I know, I get it. I'm just saying, it's
Calm down.
I get it. Okay, that same contest. Do you remember the warm up for that contest? Is it coming back to you?
Yes, I do. Was it in the orchestra room?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Now performing the Concord Circus Band.
Okay. This warm up. Wow. This is my first warm up as a director, and Steve's like running it. I'm in there with our former percussion instructor, Ben Runkle. And Steve is working with the band, probably on that tune. And of course, the percussion in warm-ups at ISMA, or most organizationals, I'm imagining, do nothing because there's not enough equipment for the percussionist to have in that room. So the percussionists just stand there, air stick, director's choice. But I remember Steve getting on the percussion section, and like as we know, you're not really much of a yeller, but that day you did chose to get a little spicy, not in a mean way, but just like, guys, we have to perform. Stop. And as soon as like he starts, like he's 5 seconds into like getting on the percussion, a saxophonist stands up, face green, and I just hear Ben Runkle go, "Oh, need a trash can." So it went from like yelling at the kids, "Stop," and then this kid is just like 3 seconds away from barfing.
And he made it out into the hallway, but he did not make it on the stage with us, right?
No, you're like, Jack, can you go check on him? And I'm like, okay. Go into the bathroom. Very sonically present.
Yeah.
How's that? Sonically present. And I'm like, hey, how you doing?
How's it look like I'm doing, Chief?
And he's like, I don't think I can make it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you better you stay off the stage.
Yeah, don't go Christmas Spec 2001 on us or whatever the year that was. Yeah, that was not a good warm up, but that did make for a fun memory. This episode of Chops is sponsored by Sight Reading Factory. Sight Reading Factory is a digital tool that generates virtually infinite music on the spot for any ensemble. Every exercise is customizable, making it great to focus on specific rhythms or intervals. And now, you can even align the exercises to match your state and organizational standards. Sight Reading Factory is built for the classroom with two great features: auto assessment and live practice. Auto assessments grade student recordings automatically so you don't have to, and they sync directly to your gradebook. By selecting one of 3 levels of leniency for your group, you can be sure SRF will grade recordings appropriately. Live practice allows you to generate music for your ensemble on the spot. Correctly transposed parts will be sent to students' devices while you read the score. No more wasting time distributing, collecting, and hunting down original parts from your library on Sight Reading Day. Visit sightreadingfactory.com today to begin your subscription for as low as $3 per student.
Oh, that was a great no, that is fun looking back on that. Okay, I got another one. Pre-Concord, Everett High School.
Shout out.
Okay,
Everett.
so maybe my second or maybe third year there. I was there 4 years. Okay, so maybe third year there, and we had KMEA contest, which was a state organization contest, but our district site was 3 hours away.
Oh, yeah.
So we had to go up to, or at least 2.5 hours. It was up to Richmond, Kentucky, and we were all the way down in southeastern Kentucky in the mountains, right? Okay. So you had to make that. But we performed on a Friday during the day, so we got out of school and like made a day of it, right?
Nice.
And so, but we had, so there's probably like 25 kids in the band around that area, which not a lot. And we only had one tuba player because we had one tuba. So you just could have one. And kid was actually pretty good. But so we're in the band room like in the morning taking attendance. And they're like, where's Jonathan? It's like, I don't know. Kids are like, well, I saw him in the school today. So I was like, okay, cool. He's on here on campus. He should be here. And then we wait and he doesn't show up. So I was like, okay, I'll go into the school, to the Gen Pop and go talk, go find Jonathan in his class, right? So I find out where he is. Okay. This is like early teacher, like not good management from myself, because I come in, I'm like, hi, excuse me. Hi, Mr. Peterson, the new nerdy guy that's working down there. Jonathan, it's time to go. We're getting ready to load the bus. We have contest today. And he goes, I'm not going. I go, come on. I thought, I don't even know what I thought. Like, I thought he was joking. I was like, no, it's time to go. And he's like, I'm not going. And then by that time, like, his buddies got in and they're like, oh, he's not going. And then I call him out in the hallway And it was like one of those things, like you always have a choice. And I was like, it's time to go. You're our only tuba player. You're a part of the band. I'm not going. And he wasn't mad. He wasn't like he was disrespectful, but it was just like, I'm not going. And it was one of those things like, I had no control over it.
Like,
And
what do you do?
but then what do you ever have control over?
Exactly. Well, I'm just trying to think, like, how would current Steve handle that?
I wouldn't have said anything in front of the class. I would have only done something one-on-one with him. But, and his family was somewhat like around and they came to things, but it was just like he got into his idea that he wasn't going to go for whatever reason. And so I just went back to the band. They're like, where's Jonathan? I was like, he's not coming. Let's go. And I remember being really bummed out about that feeling that we've talked about before, and the idea that, yeah, you always have a choice, and we count on kids to make the right choices, and the kids count on us to make the right choices. But at the end of the day, you can really do and say a lot of things that could get you in trouble or be hurtful. And that was one of those times. And I was so perplexed about why that happened. But it really didn't make any difference at the time, because I had all these other kids, and we got on the bus and we went up there and performed, and it wasn't our best, shocking, and that was like a disappointing feeling and kind of an out of control feeling, like another one of those episodes where you're like, dang, if kids do have choices, and thankfully that didn't happen a whole lot in my career, but those unexplained things that you would probably never think of that were happening.
And then when they do happen, there's nothing.
There's nothing
you can do.
You got another tuba player in southeastern Kentucky I can borrow? No, this is the way it's going to go.
Well, and I've thought about that, like for jazz band, one to a part. What happens if a kid is sick?
Right.
You can't pull off someone from your bench.
Right.
But I mean, again, it's just like some things just have to go well. And it's different than like choosing not to be here, but it's still on your mind, right?
Right.
Like, and we talk about this, that like the most stressful part of the concert is not the downbeat. It's the half hour before. Is every kid there? It's like,
preach it.
Once the kids are in the seats,
it's game on.
Like, okay, let's go. We can do this. This is fine. This is fun. It becomes fun.
It does become fun.
Which here's my beef with being a band director. Here's my beef. Is that you feel, and by you I'm saying I feel stressed about concerts up until everyone's there. Once everyone's there, I'm not stressed anymore. I'm like, let's go. We can do this. Why? Oh, I almost knocked my mug over. Yeah. Why can't I just feel better? Why can't I be like unstressed? What's wrong, Steve? What's wrong with me? Talk to me.
Oh,
help me.
Help me, Obi-Wan. Help me.
My only hope.
My only hope. If I'm your only hope, bro. So this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but I'll admit it.
It's a good start.
Okay. I don't think I ever mastered that.
Oh, that's not embarrassing.
In fact, I thought it got more intense as the years went on. The waiting for students to show up for a performance was probably one of the most anxiety-inducing activities I did.
Yeah.
And our results were great as far as kids like showing up.
Evidence strong.
I mean, strong evidence, right?
Yeah.
But there was just always that kind of like, what if this? What if this? What if this? And I think you eventually come to grips with, so what if it does? What if it does? Can you do anything about it? Is it in my control? No. Can you do anything about it? well, I can help show the students a positive way out of this. Like, I remember this last spring that our one of our members of the wind ensemble was really sick on the day of ISMA state qualifier, and that person did not travel with us, and they were gonna meet us later, and this person had a prominent role in the ensemble, and they were not able to participate because of significant illness, being sick, and being upset stomach and all, and they weren't able to make it. And so you reimagine how things could be done, and like share a part, like to make sure you're covering this solo here, and a person that was like always there for performances, a person that was always doing above and beyond, but they were legitimately sick. And I think then you just kind of come to the point where you're like, what do I have control over? And that sounds so trite, but like, what do I have control over? And then your job at that point is to show the students the magic, or show them that everything's okay. Right? And be sincere about it, and let them know that we're going to be all right no matter what happens. And I think that's, so if my mind went to the students that are there, man, I just used to just like be so grateful to see every kid that showed up.
Yeah.
And not saying that like in a meaningless way, and I'm not saying that in a desperate way, but it was like so meaningful. Like when you send the kids home after school and you know that they're going to eat and get dressed up for the jazz band concert, and then to see them there, I always thought was like a really rewarding experience. Same thing for like Christmas spec. Here's something in the middle of the holiday season and in the middle of the afternoon or evening or something, and then the band room is empty 30 minutes before, and then boom, time starts, and you got 220 kids sit in front of you dressed red, green, and black. It's like, whoa, that's like really rewarding.
Yeah.
That's like the stuff that kind of keeps you coming back for more. But the irony is not being able to get to that point sometimes because you're so preoccupied with what if, or someone's late, and you're thinking the worst.
You'll appreciate this. You used to tell the kids, while your presence and attendance, we say, is mandatory, is always appreciated and never taken for granted.
Correct.
I'll say that to kids sometimes. I steal that from you. And the day of state finals for marching band, after our performance, one of my kids sought me out and said, hey, you always tell us that, like, we have a choice to be here, but you see us and you thank us. He's like, I just want to let you know, like, same for you.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's so, like,
that's awesome.
Second level, like next level. That's like self-aware.
Perfect.
Yeah, good for you. But that's like birthed from your thing. From you always have a choice and choosing to be here.
And I think that's appreciating and acknowledging student time out of the classroom. Well, in the classroom for that matter, but to be appreciative of good attendance, to be appreciative of just the over and over and over excellence in attendance dedication. I mean, it's just mind-blowing, the number of rides that the kids get and the number of things they reschedule, right?
Oh, yeah, gosh.
Whether it's work or family activities, family party, something they had, or maybe they're sick and they're just kind of fighting through it, or whatever. I mean, that's humbling, like to think like you always have a choice, and most of the time those kids are choosing to be with you.
Yes. Yeah. And, I think they like it.
I do too. I think that's why they keep on showing up.
And there's something about that draws them back in, and maybe they like it. Maybe they feel like they, owe it to the people around them, the people they work with. Maybe any other number of reasons that we're not aware of. But as you said, like, thank goodness they're there. And then there's like a feeling of like thankfulness, appreciating, but also like kind of lucky. Like, I feel lucky to be in a school where like 99% of the kids attend if they can.
Yes.
And I know that's not necessarily the truth out everywhere, but that's it. That's it. Also, the post-concert feeling.
What's that?
Well, if it's a good concert, you usually feel pretty good.
Yes.
But having like that sense of relief,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it is usually like a little sad. You're like, oh, it's done. But at the end, you're just like, the stress is like gone because it happened.
Yes.
The pieces fell into place.
That is a nice kind of release of tension and just feeling appreciative of what happened. You know, and then you were thinking like maybe 24 hours or 48 hours ago, you were worried about this, and this, and you're like, I'll be darned, it all worked out. And maybe sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes you get to the other side and you're like, oh, that wasn't our best. But there's a lot that goes into a performance. There is a lot, and it's not by accident that students have a good performance. It's because they're well prepared, they're alert, they're adaptive, they're interested, right? They're dedicated, and all those things make such a difference. And when you're snapping your hands or waving a stick or whatever it is, and then those moments happen, it's really a good moment.
I think so too. So at this point, I'm feeling more excited than not, or stressed about the concert tomorrow. But 6:30 p.m. will roll around. I'll probably feel a little differently, making sure the kids get there.
I'll send you a funny.
Oh, yes, he will. Steve has hooked me up with funnies. Steve will leave some sticky notes or Post-it notes in random places that I'll find them, and I'll be like, oh, thank you for thinking of me. That's good. He'll place them on the podium as I'm conducting. You've done that a few times in warm-up, and I'm like, okay, bold move. But, yeah, that's the good stuff. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. Anything else? Did we miss anything on concert weeks? I don't know. I hope I remember to take attendance tomorrow during the school day. Don't want to get too caught up in everything.
Right.
Got to check my email still. Take attendance, put in grades.
Right. One thing I would say is that, like, another thing that I would say, maybe the last thing, stop talking, Steve. Okay, gosh, you motor mouth this, like, prepositional phrase after prepositional phrase.
Don't tell me you lost it. Come on.
No,
grab the wave.
It's grabbing water. It's really important to have, going back to what Jack said about imagining from step to step to step in a performance, and you taking time in your mind imagining that and playing that out. Okay, we're going to arrive here. We're going to sit here. This is what we have. We're going to lead out to the stage this way, but just having gone through those procedures with the students, there's no doubt, even though it seems very simple, and you're like, it's Jazz 1, they know how to get on stage. Not so sure.
You'd be surprised.
You got to tell them, like, how we're getting on stage. What are we doing before the tunes are introduced? What are we doing? Jack's like, oh, no, I forgot that. No, but
wait, keep going. Wait, let me get my phone.
And
take some notes. Okay. Okay.
But just how you want everything to go, and how you want the kids to look, and then what's going to look like when we're done. And then imagining when we're done, what they're going to do with their instruments and the cases. How are they going to watch the other groups? And just playing those things out so you can eliminate as many questions as possible on the day of. Because there will be questions.
There will be.
And there will be the same questions that you've already answered. And you can come back with a snarky comment that's certainly possible, and you can have some fun with that, but in the end you want all the students to have the information. And so you have to keep on sharing that information with them and guiding them through that, and also not blow a gasket when some kid goes stage left and the rest of the band goes right.
Oh, yeah. First year teachers out there, you have to tell your kids every day. You have to put it on the board. You have to tell them. You have to put it on Canvas. You have to email it to their parents. You have to email it to them. Everything about the concert. Everything.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Multiple facets. What time you're arriving, what you're wearing, what you're bringing. everything all the time, everywhere. Because I've told my kids I've had it on the board like every day for a month. And I've been telling them every day for the last week, 7 p.m., dark suits or dark dress clothes, accent color, your choice, shirt, tie color combo, your choice. If a kid shows up tomorrow and says, what are we wearing? What time do we need to be there? I might rage a little bit.
You might
sarcastically rage.
You might need to get out the phone and record that, then we play it back.
Yeah, Saxes, hold me back. Hold me back, Saxes. Yeah, because I mean, it's going to happen. And as you said, like, be prepared for it to happen and not, like, blow a gasket. But I might methodically blow a gasket.
Sure.
Turn it into a teachable moment.
Yes.
But yeah, first year, I can remember thinking a first year teacher because your baseline for how humans operate is like yourself. And you
were a music student.
And you're pretty high functioning to, be an educator. So that's not necessarily your clientele on that same level, especially at their age. So you got to make sure that you tell them everything. But, okay, it is kind of funny because as you said, like walking them through everything, I was going through everything you said and like making sure like, okay, we okay? We okay? We okay? I like last minute took the mute box out on stage today because I'm like, I had told the kids previously, like, okay, just take your mutes with you to the seat in the house, and then we'll bring them back up. And I'm like, no, because we share those from multiple bands. You idiot, Jack, stop that. Yeah. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave the buckets up here, and then you just grab your own. So hopefully nothing like that happens again tomorrow. That could be icky. But we picked out our mic colors today, like soloists doing that. We picked the routing. Yep. We said you got to come up sooner. We had some learning curves with that. I talked to them about being really good audience members, and that means something different when you're listening to like concert band music versus jazz music. It's different responsibilities. Mm-hmm. I have my script. It's really bullet points. I'm not going to read verbatim because I don't want to do that.
Right.
I practice saying every kid's name to myself as to introduce the band. Do you do that? Like, do you practice like monologue, like when you're in the car or something?
There were times I did, not so much recently, but I do. I used to go through the band in my mind and just make sure I could, without looking at the band, I could just say their names.
Yeah.
And not just like looking away from the audience, but like looking at the audience and then being able to point backwards to the students. And just be able that I could get through each name, make sure, obviously we know all the kids, but it's funny how performance can work and those names can vanish. But that's important to make sure then your tunes and your composers and your soloists and having all that ready to go.
So, hoping that all goes well. Steve will be in the audience. He's going to be in the booth tomorrow watching me. He'll be like, how are we doing, Jack? We going to make it? We going to land the plane together? How's this going to go?
It's going to be grand, Jack. I almost called you Jeff.
That's not the first time you said that.
Okay, so that's good. Now, we're looking forward to it. Jazz concert, Jazz 3, Jazz 2, Jazz 1 on the Bikeman Performing Arts Center stage. We can't really advertise it because this podcast
will
is
come out next
anyway,
week after it's done.
But it'll be great, and we'll maybe have some feedback next week about it.
Yeah.
But if you have thoughts about performance, preparing kids for performance, wrapping up performances, funny
you want to critique my jazz bands, just send your information to Steve. He'll read it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So send us stories, send us stuff. We do get some funny comments on TikTok, which is always nice. Make sure we're getting more ratings, by the way. You guys are good listeners because the best podcast. Okay, you have been rating, you have been reviewing. Keep them coming because that's really what helps the show. Keep following. Tell your friends to follow, and even if they don't want to, just steal their phone when they're not looking and give Chops Podcast a follow on Apple.
I was down at Purdue a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. We were down there for a football game, and we got to see our sons. And Jacob is in a fraternity. It was Dad's Day, so we did a little tailgate beforehand.
Nice.
And these college boys and girls were like, "You're Jacob's. You're on Chops. You're on Chops."
Wait, really?
Yeah.
They knew about because he told them about it. That's awesome.
And so these college guys rolled up on it, and then I ended up having a conversation with a college student who is studying to be a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, no way.
And she's like, yeah, listen to your podcast.
Very cool.
That was fun.
There you go. Well, let's get all of Jacob's brothers and friends. Get them all on there. Like, that could be a big number. That's like a little city out there in Lafayette.
That is. No, I think that's been a good. That's like a different source of material because they're not music ed students, but they enjoy the real.
Teaching's teaching. It's real.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. Well, be sure to subscribe and like. We already said that. We think you're awesome. Have a super duper day. And for
Super duper.
Steve Peterson
And Jack Inkle.
we're out of here.
Yeah.